G'day guys, welcome back to another What's for Dinner episode. I've got 3 family meal recipes for you tonight. Dave is making a comeback. He's going to be sharing his spaghetti meatballs that kids absolutely love. So you're going to want to see that one. Alrighty, let's get into it. First off, I'm going to make the marinade. So we've got half a cup of plain yogurt. Then I'm going to do a tablespoon of lemon juice, some cumin, turmeric, cayenne pepper, garam masala, minced garlic, and it's meant to be chicken thighs, but just had chicken breasts, so that's what we're going to use. I'm just doing this morning, and I'm going to grate some ginger as well, probably about a tablespoon worth. So I'm going to do the marinade this morning, and then I'll cook the rest of the buttered chicken this afternoon. So here I am getting the yogurt to make the marinade, which we were going to have for dinner last night, but I got about 4 o'clock, was like, right, let's make dinner, and I hadn't even marinated it. So starting again the next day, starting early, so I'm putting in some turmeric and all those spices I mentioned. This recipe is from Recipe Tin Eats, her butter chicken recipe, which you guys had recommended. I don't think I did it justice. It kind of curdled a little bit. Everyone ate it though. I did really enjoy making it and putting in the fresh ginger. Because this is a family meal, I'm not going to be using chili powder, but I will be putting in garam masala, I hope I'm saying that right, who knows if I am, and cumin. I have nicknames for items in the kitchen, and then when I'm doing the video I have to think, well, what would everyone else call them? Like, I just kind of say them a little bit bogan, to be honest. And then here I am putting in the lemon juice, but I accidentally put a seed in, so I was getting that out first. So it's got all those different spices, and then what you do is you chop up the chicken and put it in. And with butter chicken, the chicken pieces, because they're thigh, are often quite large, like they're not really thin slices of chicken. So I made them a goodish kind of size, chucked them all into the yogurt marinade, and then put them in the fridge for the day. And then I got them out again at 4 o'clock. Now with the marinade, you don't dump it all into the pan. I mean, the yogurt that is on each chicken piece can go in, but you don't put the extra stuff in. And I even wonder with mine if I still had too much when I put it in. And here I am using this 1 pot 2 handle that I got off Kitchen Warehouse. I can't believe how much I've used it, considering we haven't even had it 6 months. But yeah, it is so good, and there's so many dishes that you can do in it, and you'll even see when Dave does his meatballs next that he puts it in the oven as well. So it's really versatile. So, you know, if you're looking for a new kitchen appliance, because, you know, we can always spend more money in the kitchen, then this one's been fantastic. I've been really happy with it, and we use it so much. Then next I'm putting in the thickened cream. I didn't have a cupful of this, so I topped it up a little bit with milk. Maybe that's what I did wrong. I'm not sure. And then I'm putting in some passata and some sugar. I'm going to try another one just because this one didn't end up tasting like it does at the takeaway. And I want butter chicken to be like a fake away meal. So I'm going to have a look and try another one. But I know you guys have had great success with this one. And just because mine didn't turn out as I'd expected, doesn't mean yours won't. And then to serve this, we used naan, and I put it in the air fryer, which I'm really enjoying. And I just want to say a big thank you to Sarah, who sent me a DM on Instagram explaining that someone had shared one of the air fryers had split the kitchen bench. So we have now put our air fryer on this wooden chopping board because we don't want that to happen. So thanks very much. And we ate it with naan bread, cauliflower and broccoli. I didn't bother doing any rice, so we just had naan bread in the air fryer. 200 in the air fryer for 4 minutes, and it was fantastic. All recipes will be linked below. So this next one is Jamie Oliver's meatballs. That's where Dave has been inspired by. As with any recipe, you kind of modify it with what works for your family and what you've got in your pantry. But what's really important with this one is to have 500 grams of pork mince and 500 grams of beef. It just tastes so good. So definitely do 50-50 of the minced meat there. Dave's just frying a small onion, and in it it's got some Dijon mustard. So probably about a teaspoon or so he puts in there, and once that's all fried off, he puts it in a ramekin and then goes back to that mince and he's going to season it. So he was really into the thyme today, so he seasons it with a ton of that, oregano, cumin, not chili, we don't do chili in our family, and some rosemary as well. And then he's going to put the onions back in there and mix it all together. And he went down to try and find some gloves, you know, some just kitchen gloves, so he didn't have to put his hands all through it, but he couldn't find them, so he's using his hands today. And then on the side there, he's just got a bowl with just some water in it, just so that the meat doesn't stick to his hands, and it just helps for making meatballs. He likes to do that. So he's going to make a ton of meatballs, and as you can see, size wise, they're probably about a golf ball size, and he's just going to keep going. So next he's just going to fry them off in that pot. Once again, it's featuring in these meals. I'm not sure what we used before we had this. And then he's putting some pasta sauce in there. He's also used, this is a chunky vegetable pasta sauce. He's also done it with oregano and basil as well, and that tastes really good. And then he's going to put some mozzarella on top, and then he's going to put some parmesan as well. And as you can see, he's just putting what he can to cover it. And then we've got some fresh basil from our garden, so he's going to put that on top as well before putting it into the oven. So he puts it into the oven at 180 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. But what you'll see here is he took it out because the oven temperature had been adjusted. Thanks to our little 1-year-old, he had adjusted that, so he ended up putting it back in because it just needed a little bit longer. Then while that's all happening, he's got some spaghetti cooking in a pot. Now this meal does us for 2.5 meals, like it is really big, and I think it's got to do with the fact that that's 500 grams of pasta, so it's a lot of pasta, so it lasts us a long time. And then each person gets about 2 to 3 meatballs. The kids, we chop up that spaghetti so it's, you know, a lot shorter and easier for them to handle. But they absolutely love this. This is a real favourite for them. And if you're going to try any dish today, I've got 3. You're going to want to stick around for the last one, but this would be my recommendation. If you haven't got a good meatball recipe, this is fantastic. And then Dave put some fresh basil on his and mine, and the kids just had it plain. And extra tip is we ate this outside on a little table on the grass, so that when the pasta went down onto the floor, it was into the grass rather than on our floor, or otherwise the tomato sauce is just, it's a lot of cleanup. And on to the last one. Tonight's meal is 1 pot creamy lemon chicken. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be modifying it a little bit to Nicole the Simple Housewife's recipe. So I'm going to be using some frozen spinach leaves, cream, chicken stock, minced garlic, black pepper, thyme leaves. I'm going to be using sweet smoked paprika instead of just sweet paprika, salt, lemon infused oil. It has lemon in it anyway, so perfect time to use that oil. Then we've got some chicken thighs, as well as parmesan and butter. This recipe is great for when you've got guests coming over. I ended up actually inviting my best friend over for dinner, and it was all good to go. This is only the 2nd time I've made this one, and she loved it. She wants me to share the recipe with her. So first off, I'm starting off by doing a dry rub. This is from the Simple Housewife from Nicole. Once again, I'll link that down below. And it's just, I like to use the smoked sweet paprika, and then a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then rub that in completely. And then I forgot to put the oil in, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just pouring in a little bit of oil and putting it on the stove. And then you want to let it brown on both sides. Now, I was a bit of a keen bean here, and I turned it over too early, so I ended up having to turn it back again after it had been on that side. So just a little bit excited there. Then I took them all off the stove, and then in that same pan kept it going and put some butter in and 3 scoops of crushed garlic. before adding in the frozen spinach. If you wanted this to be an even quicker meal, then defrost the spinach first, but I wasn't in a hurry, so this worked out alright, but it did take a while for the spinach to separate and defrost. Next, I just added in some parmesan, and then I'm going to do a cup of water. Once again, got more cream, and once again I've finished it, so topping it up again with more milk, and this worked fine by topping it up with milk in this one, no problems. Putting some thyme, and then I'd taken the pips out of the lemon and just squeezing that straight in. I've done this recipe with fresh spinach as well, so you can use that, and that worked out really well too actually. And then I'm putting some chicken stock, just like a teaspoon or so in there. Then after the spinach had all broken up, I just put the chicken back in. In the oven for 30 minutes for getting it out, and it was pretty good. I cut it open here and it did look okay, but I wanted to be extra sure, so I just put it in for another 5 minutes. I don't think I said it before, but I've got the oven on 200, and this is how I served it, just on some rice, some wild and black rice, beans fresh from the garden, not mine, my parents', which are hard. I didn't cook them, the kids like eating them raw, and then some broccoli that I did in the microwave. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. I'll link a What's for Dinner marathon here if you want some more recipe ideas. Bye!